Greetings all and welcome back to Globbits gaming channel. Right, now you've seen the previous videos, okay, that I've done on World of Warships, and the addiction is real, okay. I have put more hours in this over the past 4 or 5 days than I've done in nearly every single game that I've ever played. It's ridiculous. You just lose the hours in this game. Reason is the matches, okay. The matches, nothing happens fast in World of Warships, okay. It takes ages to play the games. Anyway, we digress. That's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to make a little bit of a series now. I'm going to have a little bit of a how-to, sort of a guide type thing from my limited experience in the game. Because some of my most successful videos have been how-to guides. I'm going to start with my particular favourite class of ships. Okay, I personally absolutely thoroughly love the cruisers. Okay, you've got 4 kinds of battleships. There are 4 kinds of ships in World Warships. You have aircraft carriers, okay, which obviously carry aircraft. These are limited to the Americans only. Only Americans at this current point have aircraft carriers within the game. I've no idea why the Japanese don't, because they did have, think about Pearl Harbor, they did have aircraft carriers, but they're only implemented in the game on the American side. Specialist to the Japanese are the battleships. Okay, now aircraft carriers basically play top-down RTS view. We'll come on to those later on a further guide. Battleships tend to be a lot slower, a lot larger, and a lot longer range with a lot bigger guns, but they don't fire as often. Alright, they're just a brief overview. This is my Myogi, whatever you want to call it, my Tier 4 battleship. Alright, very, very good ship. The Koachi at Tier 3 is garbage, but this one's okay. You've also got destroyers. More on these guys later. These are your little fast ships that go stupidly fast and also have torpedoes. They're not the only ships that have torpedoes. Some cruisers do, but this is their pièce de résistance. This is their sort of their little calling card, the torpedoes. And also they can lay smoke. But let's stick with cruisers. Now, how does the American cruiser line work? Well, you start off with your basic Tier 1 cruiser, the Erie, alright, which isn't very good, alright, because it's Tier 1. What do cruisers do? Well, basically they're your mid-ranged ships. The idea of a cruiser is to engage and destroy other cruisers and destroyers. Your job is to basically kill these little buggers, alright, and other cruisers, and prevent basically map domination. Alright, by the enemy team. You're not there to kill battleships. You are not there to be taking on these big boys. Even though you can, your guns tend to be a lot smaller and a lot faster firing. So you basically, from cruisers, you go from the Katori, sorry, this is the USA, you go from the Erie to the Chester, alright, to the St. Louis, Phoenix, and so on, all the way down to the Des Moines. I've only got to the Tier 5 at the moment. I'm just going to talk you through them. The Chester, you're going to, well, I don't think this is an upgrade from the Erie. I didn't really like this. It gets more guns, a little bit more survivability. It's got a few more hit points. Alright, another 5,000 hit points, a little bit more armor. Has it got more armor than the Erie? I'm not sure. Let's have a look. Survivability. No, the Erie's got more armor, and it looks like a ship. To be honest with you, you kind of go for a downgrade here. It's when the cruiser line for the Americans gets really interesting when you get to the St. Louis. Now, the St. Louis is just a beast. It's the SEAL clubbing ship of choice at the moment. It's borderline overpowered. It's ridiculous. Alright. The reason for being is the amount of cannons that it gets. It gets 14 guns, and they're arrayed all over the ship. Alright, all over the ship. They can fire left and right, forwards, backwards, and all that kind of stuff. They're not on turrets as much as such. They're on the decks, as you can see here. But it's the amount of firepower that these things can kick out, because they fire 7.5 rounds per minute. Now, just to put that into context, a Myogi shoots twice a minute. Alright, so this thing reloads probably every 7 or 8 seconds, which is just ridiculously quick, and you're firing sheer amounts of ordnance at people. It's not very fast, however. Alright, your manoeuvrability is not that great. It only has a maximum speed of 22 knots. It's when you get to the Phoenix and the Omaha that the cruiser line gets interesting, because they can do 35 knots. Alright, now knots is a measurement of speed on the water. Alright, it's around about 35 to 40 miles an hour, which is quite quick, right, for a ship. And also it's quite manoeuvrable. Now, the calling card of these two, the Phoenix and the Omaha, they are, apart from the premium ships, the only cruisers that I know of so far in the game that actually get torpedoes. They get guns, which are very fast firing, but they also get, as you can see, inside the hull here on the back, torpedo launchers. Now the difference between the American ships and the Japanese ships is the Americans get torpedo launchers on each side. If you go to a Japanese ship, that's for example let's have a look at the Japanese destroyers. Let's go to the Isakaze, whatever you call it. They have torpedoes mounted on the centre line that basically can shoot both sides. Advantages for and against this then? Well, basically what you can do is you turn one way, shoot your torpedoes, turn the other way and shoot the other salvo. But they do take a little bit longer to reload. I'm at the Omaha at the moment. Okay, I've been through the Phoenix and the Omaha, and they're very, very, very similar. Near enough the same ship, pretty much. But the Tier 5 Omaha then, its survivability is really, really good. Alright, it's got 23,000 health. Alright, reasonable amount of armour. Got some good guns. It's got 8 152mm guns and 2x2 turrets. So basically, if you work it out all told, it's got 12 cannons. It can't bring them all to bear at the same time, however. They are restricted to these turrets on the sides here. Alright, here and here, and also this turret here, and this turret here. The reason I went up the American cruiser line, simple, one reason and one reason only. It goes to the Cleveland. Now the Cleveland is the first real ship-looking ship that you get on the American line, and it's absolutely overpowered. Stand by for a review on that when I get it. But the Omaha then, it's going to be quite a good route up to the Omaha. I haven't found any real issues with it. The only time you're going to come into trouble, alright, is if you start facing things like battleships. If a battleship catches you out in the open and it's pointing its guns at you, you're pretty much dead. An equal tier 5 battleship, which is the Congo, you will not kill one of these on a one-on-one fight unless the battleship driver is a complete fucking moron. Anyway, the only thing about these you need to be aware of is the range. Alright, the ranges of these vessels. This is what you need to be aware of. You need to be engaging targets at as much distance as possible. The closer you get, the easier it is for them to hit you. You basically want to be keeping them at arm's length. The way I play all my ships within reason, apart from destroyers, you keep them within your maximum range. Now, as it's stock, the firing range of this thing is 11.5 kilometers. When you upgrade it, it goes up to 12.7. Things like your Phoenix, if you go back down to the Phoenix, this thing can shoot 13.7 kilometers. So the Phoenix has actually got a better range than the Omaha. You want to be keeping ships around about the 10k mark because your spotting range, this is one thing you do need to be aware of, you're detectable 13.5 kilometers away. The problem with the Omaha at the moment I'm finding is they can bloody see me before I can shoot back. However, my manoeuvrability does help. Okay, this is how far you can be detected from the air. This is how far you can be detected from the ground. Now, this is one thing you're going to have to be aware of when you're playing World of Warships. You need to be aware of your spotting ranges, okay, when you can actually be seen. There is a sixth sense system. You can get sixth sense similar to World of Tanks, which you'll know you've been spotted, but it's on the commander tree. Okay, you have to move down the commander tree, and I believe it's this one here, situational awareness. Yeah, flashes a signal when your ship has been detected by an enemy ship or aircraft. Yeah, so sixth sense takes a while. Your commanders will gain up levels, and every time they get a level, they get a point. It costs 1 point for the level 1 skills, 2 points for the level 2 skills, and 3 points for level 3, so on and so forth. You just need to go through those at your leisure to work out what they actually do. Right, so let's get into a game. Then I'm going to take the Omaha out for a play, just a random battle, and I'll see you once I'm in the battle. Well, didn't need to wait too long. Reasonably even matchmaking. There's 2 aircraft carriers on each team. They've got 3 battleships. We've got 2. We've got 2 St. Louis. They've got Kuma. It's not ideal, but they have got an Umkazi, a Wix, and a Watakaki thing. So they've got 3 destroyers in a platoon, so it kind of evens out. So my job in this particular match then, up to this point in the tiers, you're not going to be doing what you're normally expected to do within. Just give me a second, guys.
Sound muted.
Around cruisers in the grand scheme of things is to provide anti-aircraft support for battleships and things like that. The problem is your anti-aircraft isn't that good, alright, at tier 5. At tier 6 is when it becomes really, really important that you stick around things like the battleships. Because Miyogis and things like that, and battleships haven't actually got that good anti-aircraft defence. Now I've spawned in quite late. The first thing I do is I don't start moving straight away. I'm going to have a little bit of a scan around. I'm going to bring up the map and have a look and see where the friendly ships are. 2 aircraft carriers there. That battleship's being engaged with that battleship. Now, I don't really want to go north, but I'm going to go and support this Congo. Now, I'm going to drive forward at probably 3/4 speed. Congo can do, in fact, they're actually firing quite fast. Now, let's get involved. Let's get in the game. full speed ahead. Now, the Omaha also has a spotting plane. What a spotting plane basically does is an unarmed aircraft that basically flies around your boat or your ship and basically provides spotting assistance for you. I'm not going to deploy him just yet. All right, the friendly fighter screen isn't up yet. We're being engaged already. How far away are those guys? 13.7 kilometers. Like I said, as soon as I get spotted by this battleship, as soon as the battleship comes around the headland there, he's going to spot me straight away. But I'm not within engagement distance of him. I'm going to turn to the left, make a little bit of distance, but think about going around the front side of this island. I should be in range from him here. I'm going to launch some HE to start with and then switch to AP straight away. You generally want to be firing AP at battleships. Alright, that was a bit not enough lead there. A bit more. Now, you see how rapid firing the guns are. Alright, they're very, very fast firing. We're just going to put some pain into this battleship, try and get as many hits on him as we can, because hopefully he won't be paying us any attention. Alright, the guns on the different part of the ships. Yeah, I'm hitting him. We are causing a little bit of damage. And I don't think he's actually firing at me, which is cool. Now, I should technically be firing anti-aircraft fire for that battleship, but I can't get in close. Guys, you're getting close against multiple enemies, you're just going to die. One thing I'm going to do, however, is circle round this headland here. And I'm going to launch a salvo of torpedoes. I'm going to launch them in a tight spread that way, just to provide a bit of a deterrent. Oh shit, I didn't spot him. And I've taken a torpedo, which they haven't armed. He dropped them too close, so I was lucky there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get out of here. I need to bug out and get the hell out of here. Alright, I need to bug out and get the hell out of it. Now they look like they've crashed together. Now I'm controlling the rudder manually while in sniper view, but looking at the map at the same time, and I'm just going to fire my guns that way. Hopefully that should cause some good damage. Now I'm going to disappear, and I'm going to come back around this island. This is where the slow play of the gameplay comes in. Right, I'm just kissing the cap, not doing anything too technical. All these ships are in range of me. I just don't want to be facing 5 ships on my own, unlike what that poor old Congo's doing. So here we go. See how we get on here. There's plenty of lead. Full broadside. Are they good hits? Good shots? Yes, they are. Didn't manage to kill him. I think he died before I actually got there. I should be able to shoot over that hill. I don't think I will. So, turn about again. Rinse and repeat. Now, what I see people do in cruisers is they will charge into all that, basically get their asses handed to them. Guys, you do not want to do that, okay? Battleships and cruisers, if you're 2-on-1, you really are going to get in some serious bother. Alright, let's see if I can get some more rounds on. Let's get some more rounds. No, behind the headland. Now, letting these guys soak up the damage, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to deploy my spotting plane. What he'll do, he'll basically fly around my ship now. Alright, when I need to actually spot stuff, off he goes, does his thing. Now what I'm going to do now, I'm out of range of him, not going to be able to hit him. These guys are hiding behind the island. I have actually seen as well ships trying to poke out like they do in World of Tanks. Well, that should be good hits. Hope they hit. Looks like good shots. Oh, did I give him enough lead? Yep, got a couple of hits in there, 1 target hit. Right, let's put some pain on this battleship because he looks like he's beached himself. This guy's going to get wrecked. Just going to wreck him, just going to keep firing at him, wrecking him. Right, when we get close, I'm also going to launch a salvo of torpedoes at him. Just to try and make him move, try and make him turn, try and pull his guns away. I'm just going to put some hits into him. I'm also going to turn full to the right because I want to turn away from this guy. Break the engagement if I can. Yeah, we're getting some good pain, good damage. But you notice he's got a hell of a lot of health. Also, turning makes you, another thing to think about, turning makes you harder to hit. A lot harder to hit. Now we've caused this guy to turn around. Now we should be able to get hits into his ass now. Which means we can cause damage to vital systems like his rudder. Doing a full about turn here. Need to keep checking where I am in relation to all my friendly ships. I don't want to be clattering into battleships. The damage for crashing into the friendlies at the moment isn't that severe, and he's down. We've got a battleship down. Fantastic. Right, we need to push this flank now. Alright, we need to push this flank. We need to sort our lives out. Fighters are engaging the torpedoes, and we need to shoot that guy over there. See that guy? My little target reticle comes up. pain onto him. Just random ranging shots at the moment, not doing anything too dramatic, but because I've got such a quick reload I can afford to technically not waste, but to do these ranging hits. You need to be a lot better at this when you come to battleship play, because you only fire once every 30 seconds, which is kind of difficult. And I'm just hitting him, just bracketing him, putting the pain in, just doing general plinking damage. It's really, really irritating if you play a battleship to be engaged by a cruiser, especially a cruiser like an American. You just get hit so many times. I need to be aware of this guy because he's dropping torpedoes. I think they're too close. Yes, I managed to avoid them. Fantastic. You need to keep an eye on them. The biggest thing that's going to kill you in World of Warships isn't actually enemy ships, it's tunnel vision. And I've managed to critically damage that battleship, taking out one of his gun turrets. Fantastic. And this is what you need to do in cruisers, guys. Yeah, you're providing the air cover, yeah, and also you're just peppering, alright, enemy ships. Now, I said at the start you're not supposed to be engaging battleships, but you know, you can do at longer ranges. You can pepper them and cause annoyance to them. The problem is now that entire flank is lost. Alright, so what we need to be doing now, the friendly battleships are way out of position. They're not thinking. They're not looking where they're going. Alright, I'm just going to go straight across this cap and I'm going carrier hunting. There's an enemy cruiser who's not looking at me, I don't think. No, it doesn't look like it. I might just put a couple of ranging shots into where I think he's going to be. I don't think he's sailing this way though. We go around this headland, I'm going to round this thing here and go into the cap circle. Try and cap. If I can. 11.4 is in range. Right, let's put some pain into him. Fire all cannons! Now, you double click to fire a barrage of as many guns that are loaded. You can also hold down the fire button to do a ripple effect. Guns will fire from one side of your ship to the other. Yep, I'm scoring hits on that guy. Can't shoot this battleship, I don't think. I haven't actually managed to use the torpedoes in this either, which is kind of annoying. Now, the enemy planes are spotting 14. Spotting mechanics work exactly the way as WoT Tanks does. If you are viewing or seeing an enemy vessel, you will... Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a couple of things of torpedoes around there. Just going to put them in the water, just in case. Right, I'm going to turn my ship sideways. Putting the fire down onto the enemy fighters. Put some pain into this guy. Slow my ship down slightly, turn it down to half speed. I want to spend as much time blasting this as I can while capping the base. There we go, hit a Citadel. Citadel here is what you want to be going for. Citadel is basically a critical part of the ship where all the captain and the crew... There we go, boom! I managed to kill him. Fantastic. He's actually... This guy's just shooting my spotting plane down. That's just not cricket. That's just not fun. Oh god, that battleship's going to engage me. Now what I've made a mistake of doing here is I managed to stop myself. That battleship's not paying any attention whatsoever. What I'm going to do is put hard rudder to the right and I'm just going to start engaging this battleship. And we've won by cap. Managed to win by capping. Fantastic. GG. That is my interpretation of basic cruiser gameplay. Alright, that is how I play my cruisers, and as you can see here, I don't do too bad. Alright, managed to kill one ship. Critically damaged 3 modules, assisted in a base capture, 3 hits to Citadel, and 70 rounds on target, which leads me to believe that'll be a reasonably good team score. Yeah, I'm third on the team. The Myogi on our team did really well, and so did our Kuma. Could we have won that? Did I need to cap? No, but I like winning. Because winning, if it's the first game, as you can see, gives you 1.5 experience bonus. So that, for me, guys, is basic cruiser gameplay. Now, my captain has been upgraded, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to upgrade him. So this basically means that his survivability. So it increases the repairs to modules, firefighting, and recovery from flooding. It's just skills. It doesn't really matter at this tier. Anyway, so that is how I basically play cruisers. You need to be keeping yourself at distance. Don't be the focus of the enemy fire, especially if the enemies are battleships. You want to be supporting your other battleships by killing other cruisers and destroyers. Alright, and the ace up the sleeve of these particular vehicles is the fact that they get torpedoes. People often don't pay attention to this. If they get in really close, these are absolutely deadly. Alright, so that's my basic description of how I cruise. There you have it. So I hope you enjoyed that video, guys. I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourselves. Bye now.